Hello guys, Inslayerclone here, friendly neighborhood incel, back with another video. Probably my last video of August of this summer of 2024, I guess. Not sure I'll make a video next week. You know, summer is ending, everything's going back to normal NPC matrix, whatever you call it. You know, everyone's going back to what they were doing before, I guess. And yeah, it's kind of funny, isn't it, that a lot of people will work from September all the way to maybe, I don't know, May or something to save up the money so they can enjoy about maybe 10, I don't know, 3 months of the summer, I guess. So, oh, I'm going to do this for the summer. I'm going to be a painter or like this, or like I'm going to do game dev or music or modeling, whatever, you know. But in like, I don't know, autumn, winter, maybe even spring here and there and stuff. They'll just like focus on at their corporation, their corporation slave job, you know, which is fine, I guess. I mean, if that's what they decided to choose, I'm not trying to force people to choose, I guess. But it's like, I will, I mean, me personally, I'm a winter person. I'm not a summer person, really. I don't really like the summer. I understand why people like the summer, maybe particularly poor people, because they can now use their money. They can now show their assets, like the belly, say the ass and all that. All the stuff they've been working throughout the year and shit, so they can project in the summer and shit. I understand that, especially like in United Kingdom and in Western Europe. I don't know about countries like I don't know, Spain or freaking South Africa or the Middle East, because it's kind of summer 24 hours, 7 days of the week there, so it doesn't really change anything and how their reality is once the winter comes in and shit. I've said this many times before. I prefer winter over summer because that's when the NPCs are not out. That's when everyone's at home. If it was like, as of right now, it's seven. I think it's like 7:30, right? If I if I was doing this video at 7:30, right, there will be absolutely practically no one out because everywhere will be dark. Right, this park would be dark. You know, and that's what I like. I like darkness. I'm not a freaking person of brightness. I'm a darkness person. You know, and I'm not saying any of that emo stuff. I just prefer that stuff. Like I said, I like all winters. I see all value in all weathers and shit. Like I said before, if I was doing this video in winter and stuff, most likely I'll probably be sitting on the bed instead of the floor and the ground like I'm doing now. Because in summer and stuff, most likely the floor is going to be wet. The ground is going to be wet. It's going to be muddy and shit. And I don't want to get my clothes dirty and shit. You know, while in winter, I might have to find a bench to sit on and make this video and shit, or stand up and make this video and stuff. So it's a double-edged sword, I guess, for all weathers and stuff. Personally, I prefer summer because there's more freedom in outside than what I have. So I know this is quite a long intro and shit, and stuff. So today I want to talk about leaving everything behind and shit. So let's get right into this video. So, like I said before, back in 2025, maybe 2026, early 2026, I'll probably be leaving the United Kingdom. I'm probably going to not look back, So I'm probably going to leave the United Kingdom and go somewhere else and shit. And like I said, I don't hate the United Kingdom. I'm just doing this for my own mental clarity and stuff. I've been here. To me, the United Kingdom at this point in time is a prison. It's like no different to Australia in the old days and shit. Australia was a prison in the old days, and that's what the United Kingdom has become. I mean, I watched a news article and shit about Pakistan man being arrested for involved with the UK riots and shit. and then the riots that happened in the summer and shit. So it's like the crackdowns are coming. Like anyone that's like part of like the United Kingdom in some form, that includes like former British colonies and stuff like that, are now, and maybe even European countries, because like I said, I don't see the same thing in Germany as well. Like if you say something offensive and shit, you're probably gonna get put in jail as well. So it doesn't really matter. It's Western countries and any country that was a former colony of the United Kingdom. It seems like you can't really say anything anymore, or that's classed as disinformation, and inciting hatred against other groups and stuff, you know. So it is time to leave. I mean, it is time to leave the United Kingdom. And some people say, "Oh, just go to like Russia or you know um, China and shit." Those countries are no better than the West. All countries are corrupt, and that's what you have to understand. All countries are corrupt in some form. Doesn't matter if it's China, Spain, um, Nigerian shit, Indian shit, Brazil, whatever country you go to, it's all corrupt. Right? If they want you in jail, they'll go to the ends of the earth to get you in jail and get you in prisons and shit. Some countries are more corrupt than others and stuff. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, I do plan to leave the United Kingdom. I'm not sure which country I'm going to go to. I don't know if it's going to be the United States, which some people say that's crazy going to the United States in 2024 and shit in this climate, with all the wokeness. But let me just tell you right now, all the stuff you're seeing on the television about woke stuff and shit, yes, there are a lot of crimes in the United States right now. But you really think Americans have to deal with like freaking worrying about offending a religious group and shit? Absolutely not. I mean, Americans don't need to worry about that. I mean, unless if I guess if it's those boys from the Middle East and shit, since they control the Congress. But I'm not gonna say their names. You know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, so you can practically say what you want in America without getting a noose around your neck. So yeah, man. And like I said, at the end of the day, you're not really truly free until you're dead. This idea you're gonna escape the matrix by going to a different country is absolutely nonsense. You're still gonna have to pay taxes. You still have to participate in their community. You still have to do all this. Still have to do that. Some people don't want to do anything. In fact, they just want to stay put and do absolutely nothing with everyone. But you can't do that, unfortunately, right? So you can't just stay put and do absolutely nothing with your life and shit. Because some people will call you lazy. They'll shame you. You're not a real man. This, that. You have to constantly be fighting. Like Andrew Tate is constantly fighting for what reasons and shit to be fighting for the human race or something or for the truth and shit. You know, the human race has already been corrupted when freaking I don't know Eve ate the apple and fucking the Garden of Eden and shit. It's already been corrupted by then anyway. So what we are doing now is just propagating material that we we've been told by parents, grandparents, historians and shit, you know, and stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's no escape, guys. There's no truly escape. Even like I know, like in the past, and shit, people used to go to Japan to escape, but you can't even go to Japan anymore to escape because everything's connected. Every single country is connected at this point. This globalist system, right? You go to Paris, the same people are living there. Same people are living in Berlin. The same people are living in Tokyo and shit. Same people in freaking I don't know. It's just it's just one big mess and shit. All the cultures are all the same, you know. At this point, and and some people may like that. I don't know. I mean, some people say diversities are straight and stuff, and and that's on them, I guess. I mean, I'm not like trying to say that it's a bad, isn't a good thing or bad thing. That's on them, you know. But like I said before and stuff, you know, there's a cost to everything. You know, you want diversity, well, you're gonna have to. Well, that means all cultures in that society is going to be replaced in some form, you know, and you just have to accept it. Some people say, "Oh, that's a good thing," you know. Everyone's the same, just like you see in that video game Starfield and shit. You know, there's no like difference between black people or white people or Asians and stuff. No, everyone's just the same. Like everyone speaks the same American stuff. Everyone speaks the same accents and stuff. You know, there's no real difference from this tribe or that tribe or this faction. No, they're all the same. You know, in Starfield, that's the society they want. You know. I mean, I'm not a like a sort of prejudiced person, a racist person. Maybe some people may think that, but I mean, racism has always been a part of society. That's what tribalism has always been, you know. And and you can say that's a bad thing, which I'm not saying it isn't a bad. It is somewhat of a bad thing. It's like I said, there's positives and negatives of everything, right? There's positives of racism and positive of tribalism, right? It's always positives and negatives, right? Lying specifically as well. I talked about this on Discord about lying, right? Lying can be positive and negative and shit, right? I'm not saying you should lie. I mean, always use it in a strategic lens and shit. You know, don't just use lies all the time and shit because, well, you can, right? Some lies may catch up to you and shit. Some lies are bigger than other lies. So, just for example, lying to your wife or I don't know to your children that you're doing this, but you're actually just going to see your other family and shit. You know, I think that's gonna be that's destructive and shit. But I mean, what I'm trying to say, always use your life strategically. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm trying to say, right? Same thing with truth and shit. I mean, technically, the truth is what the truth is just what the truth is. But some people can't really handle the truth. You know, imagine if people knew that if they did like, particularly from a male perspective, if if they didn't have to work all day and shit, right? Like if they got a girlfriend and shit, or like chasing women, they could spend that energy doing something actually they want to do, right? Instead of spending that energy trying to find women to mate with. I mean, at my workplace and shit, someone was shaming me for being trying to say, "Oh, I'm a nice guy and shit, probably a virgin and shit." You know, some like dudes and shit that I always see at my workplace at the restaurant. You know, they're trying to shame me and all that shit. You know, but I'm just looking at them and shit. I mean, is that really all you have in life and shit? Just to work and shit, and then probably potentially get a woman to mate with, potentially and shit. To me, that's boring and shit. I don't want to freaking do that. I don't want to be like some another NPC individual and shit in my existence, And that's what it seems like to me, you know. A lot of people seems like that way. To me, this seems like people that want you to change are the people that want you to be the same like them, right? They don't understand why, um, for example, right? Some people would like to go and just go to cemetery and shit and freaking maybe I don't know, not maybe not more than cemetery, just like just to go to a cemetery and look at the gravestones and stuff, at the art of the gravestones. I like to do that. I mean, I do go to cemeteries for sightseeing sometimes, not all the time, of course. I'm not freaking like dude and shit. It's like some video on YouTube and shit, like this like scary video and shit of this dude going grave hunting and shit, digging up the fucking skeletons and shit like that to sell on the freaking dark deep web. I don't know how they had it in the back then in the 90s and shit, but this was a VHS tape from the 90s and shit. Like this dude was freaking selling No one knows who he is and shit, but he's like selling um freaking skulls and shit, gravestones, digging up gravestones, then selling them. Well, it's not. Well, he's not any videos digging up a gravestone, but pretty much he's showing the show and shit. Talks about how to do all that stuff. I don't know where he is and shit. No, I don't do that. I just like to go to cemeteries because you know the reason why I like to go to cemeteries, guys, because there's no one there practically. I mean, there's still people there going to the cemeteries exploring as well, but practically no one goes to the cemetery because most people say, "Oh, it's freaking ghosts around and creepy activities around." Who cares, mate? At the end of the day, ghosts are just like any other entity that's around and shit. You know, am I afraid of ghosts? Probably a little bit, but you know what? It's just what it is, I guess. You know? So that's why I go to cemeteries and shit. Not because, oh well, you know, because of like any any things like that for grave robbing and shit. I just like to go to the cemetery because it's nice and peaceful over there compared to like a park. I mean, I'm not doing this video in the cemetery as right now. I'm doing it in like a park and shit. You kind of get what I'm trying to say. A lot of people are different. Well, a lot of people are mostly the same, but a lot of people are different. But they destroy their individuality because they're afraid to be rejected, be an outcast of the group, right? They're afraid of being an outcast and shit, and that's why they conform, you know, to the society and shit. I don't care about being rejected. I don't really care about being rejected because when I did try to conform when I was younger, everything just went to hell and shit. So it's like, why should I care now? You know, I've learned my lesson. You know, so yeah. I mean, that's really what it is, I guess. And the other aspect and shit of this that yes, I might be leaving the United Kingdom and stuff, but what's next afterwards? Once I've achieved that chapter of my life and shit, when I get to leave and shit, and I get to actually do what I actually want to do, you know. I don't know what's the next chapter because, like I said, life is all about really two things, right? Surviving and maybe passing your genetics, and maybe the third one thing is dying. And no, it's actually four things actually: surviving, passing on your genetics, passing on your legacy, then dying. That's those are the four things in life, right? All the other things in life and shit, it's all arts and shit. It's all binary resource and shit. Not binary. It's all like systems and shit. And and that's what it is. It's just like with, like I said, with the diversity thing, right? If diversity, if we didn't have like so-called arts and shit, everyone would be practically the same. You know, imagine if like if everyone in England had the same mindset as everyone in the United Kingdom, which they're practically doing. That's what they're trying to do now in 2024 and shit, which they're practically done successfully now. I mean, most British people don't even think like a British person anymore. They have more of an American mindset at this point. You know, every single culture would be practically the same at this point, which you are practically done, right? I mean, you got all the freaking fancy restaurants, the fancy, jewelries, the fancy everything. All this is like, um, all this is like a matrix, what you call it. All this is like, the same old, same old. It doesn't really matter if it's like freaking a British, what you call it, a British fancy shop or a Lebanese fancy shop, they're practically selling the same things, for $1 million and shit, you know. Right? I'd rather go to the freaking, I don't know, freaking mom and pop's pizza shop and shit and spend like £5 on that than freaking go to some high class, high society freaking bullshit, that practically just feels the same, exactly the same as like something another high class, high society restaurant somewhere else, And I said this many times before, I guess, as well. Like, what you should be doing in your life is trying to look for esoteric stuff. Don't follow the masses and shit. If everyone's going south, go north and shit. When everyone's going south, I go north. That's I'm going to use that term. So if I do die, guys, let's just say I do die in the future. You know where that term come from, right? When everyone's going south, I go north. If everyone's going north, I go south. You know, because reason why that because when anything becomes popular, it becomes mainstream, like you saw with the manosphere, like you saw with video games and shit. Everything goes down. The quality goes downhill, right? The quality of their products go downhill. You know, the message doesn't get filtered in properly, or the products go downhill and shit. You know, and you can see this in real time with the games industry, right? The games industry now is nowhere near as competent as it was back 10 years ago or 20 years ago and shit, right? You got game developers pumping out at least three sequels even within 1 or 2 years and shit. Was it Grand Theft Auto? Right, they made Grand Theft Auto 3, I think, in 2000, and they made they made Vice City in 2003, I think, or 2002. Then they made San Andreas in 2004. Those are four games they made within like five, four Grand Theft Auto games they made in 5 years. And some people is going to say, well, because of HD engines and shit and graphics and stuff, that's complete nonsense. Complete BS, right? Because the only reason why they don't make games anymore because it's easier just to make skin DLC and have monetization that way, make it make the money that way and shit, and then make a new product and shit, and try and do the same thing with that product. You know, that's what it is and shit. And you can say this with and that's from like the gaming standpoint, from like in a music industry standpoint. You know, most musicians don't make money actually. Most of their money's made in like arenas and shit, and and um and like albums and shit. Most of their money is made from marine like music concerts and albums. They don't actually make money from Spotify and shit. That's just like an advertisement, like you see with freaking newspapers and shit. But what does this mean? And shit? What am I trying to say? That reading and stuff, the people you should be paying attention are the people that don't have views, that don't really have much subscribers or don't have much viewerships. Of course, it's not probably going to make you as much money and shit if you had like you're not like Mr. Beast or even Andrew Tate, or freaking you know upper echelon individual in society. But you know what? I don't care. I mean, I just watched this guy. This British guy. He's like a hunting guy and shit. Kind of just pop up on my feed and shit. He's talking about how he almost Minecraft himself 20 years ago and shit with his dog and shit, and he didn't go through with it and shit, because he didn't do it. And and that's how he is here today and shit. He made a video back in the place that he almost Minecrafted himself and shit. You know, and yes, like people particularly, you know, they want to have attention, but we all know attention isn't great. It's positive and negative. Everything in life is positive and negative, right? Me leaving the UK is probably going to be positive and negative aspects. You know, the unknown and shit. I could be completely successful leaving the UK, or not. You know. So yeah, man. I think I've said what I need to say. I knew I need to upload another video and shit. Did a couple of others videos on my Let's Play channel. I still have to play the Enclave and freaking all that shit. All I'm trying to tell you guys that you know what most people don't understand is to understand that you following mainstream idealism isn't going to be great. You know, like I said, I played this video game and shit. Like I said, the Gender Wars, which is a very esoteric video game from like the 90s and shit. This other game, this mod is from Doom 2 and shit. It's called Harmony and shit. It's like a Doom 2 mom. Kind of looks like a build engine game like Duke Nukem 3D and shit. I mean, the story is pretty basic. I mean, but I wish the developer actually made an actual standalone game, made a sequel to Harmony and shit. I think it would be a pretty good series franchise and shit. You know, all these stuff. You know that no one knows about. Well, I mean, probably people do know about the freaking mod Harmony, but what I'm trying to say that there's a lot of things out there. There's millions of things out there people don't know, but we are occupying ourselves with things because everyone else is doing them, right? Everyone wants to be freaking Kim Kardashian and freaking I don't know, Andrew Tate or freaking the footballers and shit, you know, all the freaking idealist people from the mainstream society. I don't want to be one of them, you know. I don't care about those people, right? Those people are the same people that would freaking laugh at me, you know. That didn't even care about me when I was not relevant. When I become relevant in the future, I don't know if I'll become relevant. Probably I will, you know, because the stuff I'm talking about are. I'm not saying I'm gonna be like a relevant individual and shit, but you never know if things, what we say in the past and shit, becomes reality in the future and shit. You know, a lot of films that were made in like I don't know the 2000s, 90s and shit didn't really got their fame until like I don't know this decade and shit. Like I don't know what's that film from Jennifer Lawrence and shit. Not Jennifer Lawrence, freaking what's their name and shit on from Transformers and shit. Megan Fox and shit. That freaking vampire movie and shit. You know, it was not a popular movie back in 2009 and shit, but now every feminist individual and shit saying this is a cult classic, fantastic movie and shit because it talks about women's and shit and all that. You know, it's like a stand. It was like a precursor of like freaking movies like I don't know, freaking Barbie or some shit. What's that other movie? I don't know all feminist movies, guys, but you kind of go on what I'm trying to say that things we speak today can be popular in the future and shit. You know, what say today could be like something that everyone agrees with me in the future. Just like I think I said in my last video and shit, some things that are taboo now probably weren't taboo in the freaking 90s or 80s or things that are now norm, normal as it is probably will be taboo in the future and shit like video game gambling and shit and the skin DLC and shit like that. You know, that probably would be a taboo that would be probably illegal for children to do and shit. Would they use their parents' money to buy skins and shit on Fortnite and shit in like 2030 or 40 and shit. You know. So yeah, I'm just gonna end it here, guys. You know, been almost 30-minute rant and shit about. I don't even know I'm gonna even title this video because I've kind of just said a lot of things and shit. Some things are good, some things are bad and shit. It's just wanna have a chat and shit about stuff. Hopefully, I do get my opportunity. Definitely planning that opportunity in 2025. You know, if not earliest 2026 and shit. Earliest, 2026. Because, like I said before, you need to have like goals in your life. If you don't have goals in your life, what are you doing and shit? You're just practically just standing still and shit, like a freaking like a like a like a cheat, which some people like to do. I mean, I'm not saying I do prefer that, but like I said, I can't stay in this area. I can't stay in this place where I'm living at now, especially my stuff. So I have to do this. There's no other option left to the table. And I've always been planning this shit anyway since 2019, 2018, I think, late 2018, 2019 and shit. So So it's not really a new concept that I had in my mind, but since I have now the intelligence and somewhat the knowledgeability and shit, which I didn't have back, I don't know, 5 years ago and shit, you know, I can do what I can do now. So, you know, it's unfortunate that I couldn't do it 5 years ago and shit, but, that's how life is, isn't it? But then again and shit, if I didn't do that 5 years ago, would I be sitting here talking to you guys? I'll probably be, I don't know. We don't know what the future lies for. It's like, on Real Man and stuff, he said he was going to leave, the United Kingdom himself, about 2 years ago. He's still here and shit. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's probably a businessman and shit as well. And shit. He said he's going to live in Luxury in Canada, not Canada, he's in Thailand or some shit. But he's still here, So things don't plan out as we plan it out and stuff. And we just have to deal with it. We just have to accept it and shit. It's just what it is and shit, I mean, even like on Angry MGTOW and shit, Angry Guy, whatever his name is, he's kind of returned onto YouTube as well. He's called Angry Man now instead of Angry MGTOW and shit. You know, he's kind of returned and shit, doing shitty, reaction videos like he used to do and shit and stuff like that. He's not really propagating any new ideas and shit. You know, I mean, I used to watch Angry MGTOW quite a lot in 2017 and 16 and 18 and shit. You know, but what he's propagating now is propagating the same ideas that he was propagating in 16, 17, and 18 and shit. So yeah, man. I know. Anyway, I'm gonna head it off here. It's been about 32 minutes me ranting and shit. I guess whatever. I don't know what you guys are gonna be doing. All right, it's just what it is. All I know and stuff. There's a lot of there's a lot of suffering is gonna get towards where I'm gonna get, and you know, you have to pick your battles wisely, I guess. So and stuff. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Probably finish a popcorn while watching this. Anyway, comment, like, subscribe.